Hey guys, it's Kirsten. So someone just submit this image wanting to know how to change the backdrop. So first of all, I totally recommend either pulling the background tight so there's no wrinkles in it in case you have to keep the original background, for example. Pull it tight or get some like thunder gray savage paper. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, so I brought the highlights down just a smidge to -7. Just you can barely tell the difference, but that's fine. And then I brought the temperature to 5700, just because that's what my Einstein is usually dialed into. It looked a little yellow originally. Just brought it down so it's nice and the skin tone is gorgeous. Then I'm going to just go ahead. There's really nothing else I would do in ACR. Always make sure this link down here says sRGB, which it does, 300, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go ahead and open it. And my dog is barking, of course. Okay, so the one thing we can do, it doesn't matter because I'm teaching you how to replace the background, but just for the hay, I'm going to show you how to take the rectangular marquee here, sample without getting any of her hair, hit Control or Command T, depending if you're on a Mac or PC, and we're just going to bring that up and then double click inside the marching ants. That just brings it up. If for some reason you had to, keep it that way. Then we're going to do the same thing. Look at that. I was just guessing where it wouldn't touch her. If you needed to move it over a smidge, you can always move the arrow keys like that. Control T, I'm on a PC. Hold the Shift key down. And we're just going to bring that over. Okay. And let's just grab the Band-Aid. You can use the left and right brackets to change the size. Okay, but like I said, that's not going to matter because we are changing the background. So the first thing, switching the background, what we're going to do is click right here on the Object Selection tool, and we're going to tell Photoshop what we want to select. Okay, that's pretty damn good. It didn't get this corner down here, so we're going to switch to the quick selection. Let's put it on the negative because we're taking away this little spot. There we go, perfect. Okay, now because she has beautiful hair, we're going to go ahead and click on Select and Mask. Everything on the right here is just what it defaults to. So you can see, I have it on onion skin. You can see what I have clicked here, yada, yada, yada. You're going to want to export or output to a new layer. Then click on the brush, the Refine Edge brush tool. It looks like a brush on fire. And you're going to just go around and trace the outside of her hair, just so the tip of the circle is touching it. And everything else is fine. So we're going to just leave it like that. Then we're going to hit OK. Okay. Then we're going to turn the background layer back on. Highlight the background layer, hit Control or Command J to make a duplicate copy. Now, we're going to make lots of duplicate copies. Just in case we hate something, we can go back and fix it. You know what? I just realized, let's maybe work on the dress first. Okay, so we're going to click on her because she's at the top here. So I think I probably would have done that. I probably would have fixed the dress first. Let me think about it. You know what? I'm going to back up a couple steps. Sorry. We're going to deal with his little hand here first. Okay, so what we're going to do is filter Liquify. Now, there's a huge pet peeve in the industry. I'm going to just, you know what? I'm just going to liquefy the dude's hand right out. Since the dress or the edit that you showed me was very whimsical, so it was very clearly liquefied to me. So I'm going to pull this down. Okay, so the pet peeve is when you fluff the dress and you don't have a fan in her hair, it looks like a big fart. I was going to say toot, but it's not even that graceful. It looks like she's and her dress is flying up. So I have a big fan in my studio. I also have a very cheap, I think I got it literally at like a yard sale or something, blow dryer. So sometimes I'll have, you know, the significant other or a child or someone, or my daughter if she's with me, will take the blow dryer and blow it under the chin right here. So just these little pieces kind of blow a little bit. So I'm going to take, in Liquify, I'm just going to kind of make her hair look a little bit like it's blowing. So it doesn't look like she's tooting her brains out. Okay. So just a little bit like that. Okay, lovely. So you can totally make this as ripply and wavy as you want. I'm going to leave it, I think I'm going to leave it like that. My dog's crying to go out. He just came in, so. Wilson, I'll deal with him in a second. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, everything else looks beautiful. There's one little divot where her little Spanx or whatever those are. So I'm just going to pull out. There we go. Just make sure it's round. Don't change the shape of the belly, but the band of whatever this is was kind of pulling it in funny. Okay, so that looks fantastic to me. I'm going to go ahead and click open. Okay, so now we're going to go back and do the object selection tool. So sorry about that. It didn't have to be in this order, but this order just made sense. Okay, we can actually get rid of the corner. So click negative or minus that, and we're going to click on select and mask. You know what to do. We just did it. Oh my God, Wilson. That's my Great Dane. Okay, so we're going to mask her hair, refine edge her hair, output to a new layer, and hit OK. Then we're going to turn on the background layer, click on the background layer, and hit Control J to make a background layer, a duplicate background layer. Now we're going to go to File, Place Embed, or Place Linked, either one. And you're going to go to where you keep your textures. So I have, you can see I have all my overlays, confetti, dandelions, dust, Easter overlays, fabric, fire. And then down here, I have textures. Okay, so I'm going to use textures that I made, and I sell these on Etsy. Now I have two teals that I think, what color is her dress? Teal. So I have two teals that I think would look nice. This one or this one. I think I might do this one. The brown would look nice too, and the purple would look nice too. But I'm a sucker for monochromatic too, so. Ooh, the cyan might be pretty too. What do you think? Let's try this one. Okay, so you're going to hold the Shift key and just make sure it's a millimeter above in each direction, just so you don't have a black line, just in case you're blind. Okay. And then click the check mark, or you can double click inside, or you can hit the check mark, either one. Okay, so now you can see that she's up on the top layer, safe and sound. Okay, so we're going to click on the background layer here, and I'm actually going to Control J just to make a copy so I can see something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, so the dodge and burn right here, I'm going to click on burn. Oh, actually, you know what? You need to right click on this background over here and put rasterize layer. that lets you edit on it. Okay, so burn, I think I'm going to do shadows, and let's keep it low at like 20 something. So what I'm going to do is anything I do on this layer, she is still on top of it. She's still up here. So that's fine. So what I usually do is I just click around her a little bit, which is just going to make a little bit of a shadow. And you can see I'm clicking on the background layer and it's not going on her because she's above the layer that I'm working on. So I'm just making a little bit darker. Back in here. Okay, so the other thing you can do is click on the elliptical marquee tool. I have my feather at 700%. I'm going to put a circle around her. Move it over a little bit. Okay, now she's still on the top layer, so she's still not being affected. But I'm going to go Control Shift I, Control J, like 1, 2, 3, lift, 1, 2, lift. That makes a vignette around the outer edge, and then we're going to change the blend mode to multiply. I'm going to bring it down. Let's try 50 something. Okay, I really like the edges being a little bit darker. What you can always do is put a layer mask on that, which is white. So get a black brush. So hit X until black is on the foreground. And then I'm just going to click on her to make sure the vignette didn't like get in her hair, which I don't want. Okay, and if it gets on the edge of everything else, I don't really care. Okay. Okay, so I am fully committed to this, although I'm going to click on this for just 1 second. I just want to see something. I'm going to go back to the back to my overlays. I'm a sucker for like masters. Poop texture. I'm just curious what something like this would look like. Just with her coloring, I think that would be really pretty. And then you're going to hold the Shift key. I would darken the floor, almost like black. Where's dodge and burn? Dodge and burn. Burn shadows. And then rasterize this layer. Oh, whoops, I meant to put a layer mask on. Do you? I'm just going to paint it off a little bit. Okay, but we're going to take that off and we're going to stick with this because I love it. Okay, so once you're fully committed, which I am, I love it. Actually, we can leave it flat for 1 more second. Okay, so these little boo-boos here. I usually leave a little bit of wrinkles in fabric. I tell people there's wrinkles in fabric. I mean, it's without it, it looks like she'd be like a Barbie doll. However, you can just take the little Band-Aid here and just get some of the bigger. I would keep those. I would keep most of these. And honestly, the biggest reason I would keep these, aside from it just looks natural because there's wrinkles in fabric, is I don't know what you charged for this session, but the longer it takes you to edit, the more your dollar per hour is going down, down, down. So, you know, most of this you're going to want to just get right in camera. So someone mentioned getting a little handheld steamer and just quickly steaming it before she puts it on it. Anyway, no big deal. I'm just going to get this a little bit. These wrinkles are pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you a trick for her boob though. I actually have a tutorial, another tutorial on my channel. Bras and boobies and stuff, nipples. That can be problematic. Okay, so we're not going to go too much time here. That looks great. Okay, I'm going to try doing it this way, but I do have another way that I like to do it. Oh, this actually is. Well, I didn't think it would work that easy, but it did. Okay, this is being a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I have an idea for that though. Okay, so let me see. I think I can work on this top layer. Let's give it a try. I am gonna take the lasso here. I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it will work or not, but we will find out. So I would leave all the wrinkles in her dress, but this one is, oh my God, Wilson. This one is a little bit noticeable. All right, so we're going to select the problem area. Let me see if it works without it being flattened. You're going to hit Edit and Content Aware Fill. Damn, that looks pretty darn good. So you can hit the arrow key of what you don't want it to sample from. So that actually changed it from it being a big mess to it being a very little manageable mess. That looks really good. I'm just going to get rid of that hem right there. I think that looks a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Yeah, that made it from a crazy mess to less of a crazy mess. Okay, so this is my trick. So make sure you're on the wrinkle layer right here. Hit the Alt key and make a layer mask. That's going to invert it. So we just hid what we just did. Then take a white brush at 100%, and we're just going to kiss, kiss, kiss what we just did. But we still have that. I'm going to lower the opacity down to like 40 something. Because I don't, like I said, I don't want these wrinkles to go away. Because it looks like she's got a big belly. She's pregnant. Okay, so we're gonna just leave it like that. I am just gonna go ahead at this point and flatten it. You don't have to, but I'm committing to what we have going on here. I'm going to try the patch tool. I'm going to hit Control J because I always do stuff on a duplicate layer in case I hate it. I can just delete it. I'm going to kind of highlight that weird shadow. Oops. Just do a little blendy here. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then if you want to, go in with a couple of these. Okay, so if you double click on the fingers or the hand over here, it brings it back to, whoosh. I might do this little wrinkle near her hand. My eye kind of goes to it a little bit. So let's see if the patch tool would work. Looks kind of poopy. You can always I hate cloning. If you watch my videos, you know. Cloning is my last line of defense, but actually for such a small little thing, that was probably fine. Okay, double click on the hand. I would go in and lighten up by her hand, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, that's something you can do. Okay. So I know you were asking about the face, and I don't want to make this video too long, but Pro Retouch 2.0 by Totally Rad, you can Google that. I'm sure there's something for Black Friday, Cyber Saturday, whatever, all those things. But there's some things that I really love. Let's see, D-Shine Medium. I've never used D-Shine, but I'm gonna try it. I know people are like, they can be action snobs. Oh, my opacity's down. But I use this a lot. Okay, let me just do a before and after. Oh my gosh, hang on one second. Okay. All right, well, that works a little bit. Let's see what the D-Shine Strong. You can go in and do frequency separation and all that jazz, but I'm more focusing on what can we do that's really quick. Okay, I don't like this. I feel like this is making it a weird color. So we're gonna just go ahead and delete that. Okay, so I also like D-Blotch Medium. I'm just gonna run that. Okay, white brush. So this usually just smooths everything. And I'll show you the before and after. I do like some of the highlights, so I don't want to go too crazy. Okay, so look at the honestly, I kind of like the highlights a little bit. I'm going to lower this to like 50. And then I'm just going to show you what Portraiture looks like. So filter, and then we're going to run Portraiture. Click on the first eyedropper, and we're going to select the highlight right in between our eyes. You can see on the mask over here what I'm selecting. And then I'll go ahead and hit a mid-tone. And then I'll hit OK, let it think for a second. So I'll show you before, after. Kind of just smooths everything a little bit. Lovely. Flatten that. I'm going to Control J one more time. I'm going to click on the clone, and I'm going to do the darken mode at like 30%. And one other thing you can do is just sample right by, and then it will only darken. Before, after. Just want to take out some of the shine, but not all of it. Oops. Get out of there. Okay, so I hope you learned a couple tips and tricks, and happy editing.